Hey there everyone, No DMAA here coming at you with Disney Lorcana how to play go through. So I'm gonna read off the slides and kind of go through what every card does, what each of the symbols mean, the numbers, the abilities. We're gonna go through it a bit because me and Rival from Digimon slash Dragon Ball slash One Piece kind of Bandai Rival basically. Um, we got proxies for Lorcana. They're ugly, but we were able to play the game, and now I'm able to tell you the basics of how the game works, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we're gonna start with parts of the card. So we're gonna figure out what these symbols mean. I might learn something along the way too because I've been using other terminology from other games. So this is a way for me to learn how to use the proper terms as well, while also guiding you guys on how to be Illuminator. That's what it's called. Like players of this game are called Illuminators, and we are able to use the power of the ink to manifest our Disney characters to life to do battle. Well, not battle, but the quest, but also battle. But let's get into the parts of the card. So we got cost of the card. How much ink the card will cost is right here, and that's that symbol. The octagon, one, two, three, four, five, six, hexagon. So the hexagon is how much it will cost to play the Mickey Mouse, and then the ink well icon, which is the thing around the cost, the circular thing, makes it look like a well, the ink well. And then cards with this symbol can go into the ink. Yeah, cards with that symbol around the cost hexagon can be placed into your ink well to use as ink. So if you play Dragon Ball, it's like putting a card into your energy, basically. But it's the same concept. Except the card goes face down and you can't look at it anymore. That's also a thing. I think it's in the next page, but we'll go over that in a sec too as we keep going. Name, obviously. Characters also have a version name listed below the character's name. So this is Mickey Mouse, but since there's so many versions of Mickey Mouse, this is the Wayward Sorcerer version of Mickey Mouse from the movie where he's a wizard and he wears a hat. Pretty cool. Classifications. Category sometimes referenced in card rules, such as broom in this example. So classifications is right here. So Mickey Mouse is also a Dreamborn sorcerer, and then his symbol is the ink. This symbol and the colored band behind the card name indicate the card's ink type. So it's Animus Cat, like Crystal Beast. That's how I learned. That's how I'm learning the ink key, naming them after the Crystal Beast because that's literally what they're named after. Abilities and effects. The card special rules on actions, these are called effects. On characters and items, most abilities have a story-based name, especially common abilities. Instead, use bolded keywords like rush in the example below. Rush. This character can challenge the turn they're challenged. So abilities are right here. So like Mickey Mouse has animate broom, you may pay one less cost. So that's cost because of the hexagon. You may pay one less ink basically to play broom characters, which is really good actually because there's a really sick combo with it. Um, Ceaseless Worker, so it's another ability. Whenever one of your broom characters is banished in a challenge, you may return that card to your hand. So that's all part of the combo. That's all part of this combo. This Mickey Mouse, a broom character, and the Pocket Watch from Alice in Wonderland. It's all a sick combo. It's all sick. But that's not what we're talking about right now, so we'll keep going. On the other side of the page here, parts of the card. So these are the current ink colors in the game right now. There's Amber Mammoth, Emerald Tortoise, Sapphire Pegasus, Amethyst Cat, Ruby Carbuncle, and Steel. There is no Crystal Beast. There's no Crystal Beast with Steel. Interesting. But we got six. We got six ink keys. So this card is Amethyst Cat. So that's pretty cool. And these are only on character cards. So the strength, how much damage the character deals during a challenge. So the challenge is a two-way fight basically. So when you challenge each other, I'll take damage off its strength, and then his strength will be dealt back. Then we also got willpower. That's the shield value. I've been saying shield, but I guess it's called willpower. I'm probably still gonna call it shield because it's easier because it literally looks like a shield. How much damage it takes to banish the character from play. And shield is one syllable, so it just kind of goes faster when you say it that way. But it's properly called willpower. So, in case you all want to go technical, in case people want to be technical about it, which they're allowed to be. Lore value. So over here on this, we were wondering what this was for the longest time, like what this meant. The lore value is how much lore you gain when the character quests. So the point of the game is to get 20 points before your opponent does. That's the whole point of the game. It's like Keyforge or whatever. It's a racing game, so you just get 20 before your opponent. Then right here is the value of the card. So we got common, rare, legendary, uncommon, super rare. So this Mickey Mouse is going to be a super rare. Oh my god, I will need to collect this card because it's so good. I like the combo too, like enough that I want to keep like trying it out and try to make it better, especially when we get more card reveals. So that Mickey Mouse is very strong. All right, we're gonna go to D cards. All right, quick start rules. As an illuminator in the wondrous realm of Lorcana, you'll wield magical ink to summon new versions of Disney characters and items, which are called glimmers. These glimmers, some familiar, some fantastic, will help you as you race across Lorcana to find and collect missing pieces of lore. Endless quests. So wait, what kind of game is this? Yeah, this is very straightforward. Disney Lorcana is a strategy card game where each player makes their own deck before the game starts, and the decks aren't mixed together. You can play with one of the available ready-to-play decks, make changes to one of those decks, and build a deck that's entirely your own. In a game like this, the cards can allow you to do things that aren't normally a part of every turn. If a card's text ever contradicts the game rules, follow what the card says. Yeah, that's basic. We'll start. Let's see. We'll start over here about types of cards because it's up here, and then this is gonna get lower. So, character cards. So you'll send character glimmers on quests and into challenges. Some have special abilities. Item glimmers stay in place when you play them and give you special abilities during the game. Actions give you a one-time advantage or then discarded. So these are like magic cards. Items are like they stay on the field. And then we got songs. Songs are a type of action. You can play one just like any other action by paying its cost and resolving its effect. But that's not your only option. Some characters can sing the song for you so you don't have to pay to ink. Yeah, so that's what's special about song cards, song action cards. You can rest characters depending on what the text says on certain cards. Like one jump ahead is really good. A character with a cost 2 or more can be exerted to play the song for free, and then you just put the top card of your deck into your ink while face down and exerted. So this instead of paying 2 ink, you can just rest the character that costs 2 or more, and then you can sing it for free. So those are all the cards in your deck. You have to have character cards, item cards, action cards, and probably song cards too. I have one of each card, like making sure like you have a good like balance. About this game. In this game, you race to locate pieces of lore scattered across Lorcana and collect them for safekeeping. Summon glimmers of Disney characters and items along the way to help with quests, hinder your opponents, and challenge opposing characters. With the right strategy and a bit of luck, you can preserve your collected lore against future threats. Learn to play. Watch this video. But yeah, there's a whole like you can scan the QR code. Winning. Your goal is to be the first player to gain 20 or more lore. Some card abilities give you lore, but the most common way to gain it is by playing characters and sending them on quests. Then this stuff I already went over in the previous one. I don't know why they separated like that, but setting up. Each player needs their own deck. You'll also need damage counters and a way to track how much lore you have. Both come with your starter deck. Shuffle your deck. That's number one. Set your lore tracker to 0. Draw 7 cards from your starting hand. You can look at the cards in your hand, but not anyone else's hand. Number 4, after your starting hand, if you choose, see below. Skip this step in the first game. Determine the first player by flipping a coin, rolling a dice, or so on. Altering your starting hand. Before the game begins, each player can alter their starting hand one time, beginning with the first player. Usually the player does this if they don't have many cards with the ink icons. Yeah, that's what I've been kind of doing. Like, I just keep, let's see, does this if they don't have any ink icons. To do this, put any number of cards in your starting hand on the bottom of your deck without revealing them, then draw cards until your hand has 7 again. Finally, reshuffle the deck. So you can pick and choose. Usually I just send cards back that don't have the ink value, and then just to make sure I have options, like I can continuously throw it in if I can. You know? That's how I see the mulligan. I'm not sure that's correct. I'm not sure if that's actually correct, but that's what I've been doing in our proxy games. All right, we're in the oh gosh part. Let's do it. Playing the game. A turn is divided into two parts. Each player takes their whole turn before passing the turn to the next player. On your turn, take these steps below. Beginning phase. Ready. Ready your exerted characters by turning them upright. Set. Check for effects that happen at the start of your turn and follow their instructions. Draw. Draw a card from the top of your deck. The first player skips this step on their first turn, so you don't draw when you go first. Main phase. Once per turn, you can put the card face down to your inkwell at any time. So you can do this not right away. You can choose when to do this. That's very important. Um, it's very interesting. Additionally, you can take any actions listed below any number of times in any order you want. This allows you to take full advantage of what your cards can do in combination with other effects. Play a card, use a card ability that doesn't require them to exert, use an item ability, take an action with a character that's been in play since the start of your turn. This includes quest, challenge an opponent's exerted character, using the ability that requires them to exert. So I didn't know that. If you can't use abilities right away unless it's like an item. What are ready and exert cards, I guess, like vertical and horizontal, basically. Some game require you to exert or use a symbol, a character to exert a card, turn it sideways. Once a card is exerted, you can't exert it again until it's been readied by a game rule or card effect. To ready a card, simply turn it back upright. Remember to ready all your exerted cards at the beginning of your turn. This is so important. I know people who don't do this, and I'm like, can you just turn it sideways? It's weird. Your inkwell. Your inkwell is where you'll put your ink cards face down. You'll use the cards in your inkwell to pay the cost of cards you play from your hand. You may put a card from your hand into your inkwell once each turn. The card you choose must have an inkwell icon around its cost in the upper left-hand corner. The more ink cards you have, the more you'll be able to do. To put a card into your inkwell, show the card to your opponent's hand and then put it face down to your inkwell as ink. Every card in your inkwell represents one, no matter what's on the front. Choose wisely. Cards put into your inkwell stay there for the rest of the game. Once you put a card into the inkwell, nothing on the front matters, including its cost and ink type. It's simply ink. Yeah, that makes sense. Using abilities. Many items and characters have abilities you can use during your turn and only during your turn. These normally affect other cards in play. Cards in the player's deck, discard, hand, or inkwell aren't in play, so they aren't affected by other cards unless the card says otherwise. If a card ability has a cost that appears before its effect, with the two separated by a dash, the cost. If a card ability has a cost that appears before its effect, with the two separated by a dash, the cost might include an exerted cost, an ink cost, text that explains the cost, or a combination of any of these. You must pay every part of an ability's cost in order to play the ability. A character with a particular ability can't be granted that ability again. Yeah. Remember, you can't use the abilities of a character you played this turn. So characters have summoning sickness in terms of questing, challenging, and using abilities. I didn't know that part, so I messed up in one of the gameplay videos. My bad. But yeah. Example: Beast's Mirror has the ability Show Me, which reads rest rest it and play 3. If you have no cards in your hand, draw a card. On your turn, you may play this ability by exerting this card and paying 3 ink. By exerting 3 cards in your inkwell. Because the mirror is on an item, you can play its ability. You can even play its ability the same turn you play it. Ending the game, yeah. First player to reach 20 points wins. If your deck runs out, you lose the next time. You would have to draw a card. Playing a card. Playing a card just means taking a card from your hand and putting it face up on the table. Each card has an ink cost in a hexagon in the upper left-hand corner. To play the card, you must exert that many cards in your inkwell. Whoop, whoop. 1 ink. That looked like a 10 for a second. I freaked. When you play a card, character card put on the table above your inkwell, characters enter play in the ready position, but you can't do anything with them until your next turn. You need to wait for their ink to dry. When you play an item card, put it on the table above your inkwell. Unlike characters, you can use items right away. When you play an action, do what the card tells you to do, then put the card into your discard pile. Always put cards in your discard pile face up so everyone can see them. Songs are a kind of action card, but there's a special rule that gives you another way to pay for them. Each song says a character of cost X or more can rest to exert this song for free. If you have a character with the listed cost or higher, you can exert that character to play the song instead of exerting cards in your inkwell to do it. Using this approach still counts as playing the card. Rules for when you can exert a character still apply, of course, so characters can't sing songs the same turn they come into play. Oh, I didn't know that. So if you play a character and you try to sing, you can't rest that character immediately. It has summoning sickness even from songs. It can't sing right away. Dang, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Questing. To quest with one of your characters, exert them and gain lore equal to their lore value. Remember, you can't quest with a character the same turn you play them. Challenging. Questing is how you win the game, but sometimes you need to slow your opponent down. Opponents, because there's multiplayer. This is where challenging comes in. First, exert one of your characters to send them into challenge, then choose an opponent's exerted character to challenge. You can't challenge a ready character. You can't challenge active people, yeah. I played so many games. That's obvious to me, but some games aren't like that. Both characters in the challenge deal damage, look at each other's strength value, and put that many damage counters on the other characters. So when you challenge somebody, you're getting hit back no matter what, which I think is nice. I think that's cool. Damage. Characters damage each other in challenges, and some card effects deal damage as well. Whatever the source, damage counters stay on a character until an effect removes them or the character is banished. A character is banished when they have damage counters on them that reach or exceed their willpower. Shield value. Put the character card into its player's discard pile. So these are markers we don't have yet because the game's not out. But anyways, Captain Hook. Example challenge, by the way. Captain Hook, captain of the Jolly Rogers, challenging Donald Duck. Voices foul. Bolsterous foul. Captain Hook has 3 strength, and Donald has 2 strength. At the same time, Captain Hook deals damage to Donald, who gets 3 damage counters. Donald deals 2 damage to Hook, who gets 2 damage counters. With only 3 willpower, Donald is in danger. Because his damage is equal to or greater than his shield, he is banished and goes to his player's discard pile. Hook wins the challenge. He needs to watch out though. His own shield is 4, so if he takes 2 more damage, he will be banished too. I like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like his shield value is 4, so if Donald hits him with 2, he has 2 left. Yeah, we've been doing that right. So that's good. Yep, and then this is just turn order at a glance right here in the corner. So beginning phase, ready, set, draw. Ready, set, draw! I like that. Ready all your cards, start your turn, effects happens, and then draw a card. But you skip it on your first turn. On the first turn, whoever's going first. Main phase, choose as many as you like, except as noted in any order. Once per turn, add a card to your inkwell, play a card, activate an item, play a character ability that doesn't require exerted, with a character that was in play during the set step. No, that's a good way to say it. They can quest, challenge, challenge an exerted character, or use an ability that requires exertion. And then reminder of the keywords: cost, inkwell, strength, full power, and lore. And we'll go over here to deck building and multiplayer. So Lorcana is a fun 2-player game, but there's nothing stopping you from playing games with 3 or more players. The game rules remain the same, except that at the end of a player's turn, the player to their left takes the next turn. Whenever an ability requires more than one player to do something at the same time, start with the player whose turn it is, then proceed to the left until each affected player has done their action. Building a deck. So that's a pretty cool concept that you can multiplayer. I really like that. It adds more to the family friendly, like, oh, we can play this with our family, like family game night or something. That's really cool. Building a deck, making your own deck is part of the fun of Lorcana. You get to choose which characters you want, which abilities you include, and the strategies you want to employ. There are 2 ways to approach building a deck. The easiest is to switch out cards in an existing deck, like one of the ready-to-play starter decks. You can also build a new deck from scratch using the cards in your collection. This method is more work, but it can be a lot of fun. Each Lorcana deck must follow the rules. Okay, so this is something we should know. Your deck must have at least 60 cards in it. Your deck can't contain more than 4 copies of a single card. Can't have more than 4 copies of Elsa, Snow Queen in your deck. Different versions of a character count as different cards, so having 4 copies of Elsa, Snow Queen in your deck doesn't keep you from adding up to 4 copies of Elsa or Queen Regent. That makes sense. Your deck can only contain cards for 1 or 2 inks. But yeah, that is the game of Lorcana. It's a very fun game. I really enjoy it. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. If you want to play the game, let me know. I got proxies. I can get more gameplay going. I got some gameplay going after this video, so people watch out for me and Rival going at it with the quests, trying to get 20 points. All right. Thank you all so much, everyone. I'll see you all for the next video. No DMAA is logging off.